Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Mavs Edge Employer Spotlight. This is our final one of the semester. The semester has really flown by, but we're very excited to have our guest with us today, Valerie Shaw. She is the Senior University Relationships Lead at Fidelity Investments. I'm Julie Moy. I'm the Internship Coordinator here at the Career Development Center. I assist employers with internship program development and direct our Mavs Edge internship program. I thank everyone for joining us this afternoon. We'll meet Valerie in just a moment, but first, I just want to let students know that you may begin sending questions at any time during the event using the Q&A section, and we'll address your questions at the end of the presentation. So now let's get started by meeting Valerie.
Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to be here. I'm just going to go ahead and start by sharing my screen, and I can get right into it. I'm also going to preface this by saying I will have my camera off for the presentation due to some technical difficulties I've been having, but I will get right back on camera as soon as we're done to answer any questions that come through. So let me go ahead and get started here by sharing my screen. Make sure we're good to go. We all good on that side?
It looks perfect.
Okay, perfect. Okay. All right, y'all, my technical difficulties. There we go. All right, so welcome. Find Your Fidelity Careers webinar. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Valerie Shaw, and I am, as Julie said, the Senior University Relationship Lead with Fidelity Investments. I sit in our Westlake, Texas office in our Texas Regional Center, and I support university relationships. So I get the really fun job of getting to spend time at your universities, getting to know you, and also making sure that all students are aware of our internships and our early career opportunities available at Fidelity Investments, and we encourage you to apply to them. So today I'm going to go over a few things. Just want to start out with, we know you have a lot of big choices to make when you decide where to take your career, and there's a variety of different metrics you should use to decide to make that decision. So looking at the development, do they have a clear view of training and progression if you want to, grow your career, continue to move up, which most of us do. Culture, is it a place that meets your culture, that meets your values? Do they align? And benefits, do we have a robust benefits package? So whatever your priorities are, finding a workplace that meets your needs is essential in kickstarting a meaningful career. So hopefully this holistic approach to Fidelity's hiring will really get you interested, and hopefully you'll want to apply with us. So before we get real into it, I'm just going to go ahead and give you a quick overview of what we're going to talk about. We're going to get a quick overview of who is Fidelity, so give you insight as to who we are as a company. Throughout the session, you're going to get to learn a lot about us and learn about who we're looking for. Going to get to learn about why work for Fidelity. So I'm going to give you some other areas of why we feel we're one of the best employers of choice for you. Then I'll talk about next steps in the hiring process and give you an opportunity to ask any questions that you may have. So first, let's do some quick level setting on who we are at Fidelity and what it is that we do. Okay, so who is Fidelity? A lot on this slide to get into. So at Fidelity, we help people invest their life savings, we help businesses manage employee benefit programs, and we provide wealth management firms and institutions with investment and technology solutions. Fidelity's overall mission statement is to share our financial expertise to help people live the lives they want. We are also one of the most diversified financial services companies in the world, with a full range of products and solutions for individual investors, employers, institutions, and intermediaries. We're currently at, I think here it says 68,000 somewhere, 60,000. We actually have over 75,000 employees at this point, just continuing to grow really strong. Our employers come to work every day with the goal of making our financial expertise broadly accessible and effective in helping people live the lives that they want. So we offer many things that make us unique and help us stand out from our competitors. Number one, you're going to hear this a lot throughout the presentations, but we do pride ourselves on being privately held and customer-centric. We're also industry leading in a variety of ways. So privately held, means we are mission driven, again, helping people live the lives that they want, helping you improve your lives. That includes our associates. As you may know, the Johnson family is the majority owner, and there are many benefits for working for a privately held firm because we do not have the quarterly pressures of reporting to Wall Street. It gives us the opportunity to innovate and invest as we see fit, so we can retain that entrepreneurial spirit and diversify our business as opportunities arise to ensure the stability of the company. We pride ourselves on that stability. Fidelity has been around for over 75 years. And so, very strong business. We're always doing what's best for clients and investors. And we really feel like that's what's gotten us this far, 75 plus years. Gives us an enormous amount of flexibility and advantage as well when we're looking at ways that we can improve benefits for associates. Also being very customer centric, our customers are at the center of everything we do, and we have a relentless commitment to innovate and improve their experiences, making everything better, faster, easier for them to work and improve the industry as a whole. When we say we're industry leading, we mean it in a variety of ways. So we are a great place to work. And here are a few of our recent awards, although the slide does need to be updated because we have even more recent awards. So these are more from the 21-22 timeframe. But for 2023, we did just receive a notice that we were again given the LinkedIn one of the best employers to work for. We also got Glassdoor for 2024 best places to work. Also been recognized by Forbes as one of the best employers for women and employers for new grads as well. So as you can see, working with Fidelity means being part of a company that is consistently recognized as a top employer. And that's really important for someone who's looking for a new opportunity in the workforce. So why choose Fidelity? As an employer, Fidelity prides itself on its culture, and each of these areas is an important reason why our associates work at Fidelity. You can see our career mobility and vitality. There's lots of ways for you to move up in your career. We know nobody wants to stay stagnant, and there's a lot of encouragement and resources to help you in that. Mission driven and community focused. We'll talk a little bit about some of our ERGs and some of our philanthropic efforts, but Fidelity definitely gives back to the communities that we're located in. Our industry leading training programs, really any field, any industry, any part of our firm that you go into, you're going to get that training. We never expect you to come in knowing everything. Fidelity really does provide a wealth of training for all of our associates. All right, so before we dig deeper into what a career could look like with us, we just want to know what motivates you, your interests, and if you see yourself at Fidelity, and if you can see yourself in some of the attributes that we're looking for. So we are actively recruiting students like you for a variety of opportunities across the company, from internships to full-time roles for recent grads. Because we are a large, diversified organization, we have a range of roles to fit many majors. We had close to 1,200 interns with us this past summer. That was across all of our regions. Our number one goal with interns is to be able to convert them into full-time hires. Just FYI, we really, really try to get our interns to stay with us full-time. We hired over 2,000 recent college graduates. That was in 2022. College students, whether they come on as interns or full-time upon graduation, are an important piece to fueling Fidelity's overall mission. And we're looking for talent, passion, and potential. So Fidelity can hopefully be the Kickstarter for your next career journey. So when you're on the hunt for your next steps, it's easy to avoid opportunities out of fear that you aren't qualified, right? We hear that a lot. I don't have enough finance experience. I don't have the background. Here to tell you, do not fret. Don't even have to worry about that. At Fidelity, you don't need to feel limited by your background. We encourage students from all walks of life. So even though we are a financial services company, we have opportunities for people that graduate with business degrees, hospitality degrees, even retail, healthcare, arts, and sciences. This may come up later, I know, in questions that arise, but as I shared with Julie earlier, I'm a sociology major. So never did I think that I would end up working at a financial services firm, but here I am. So just again, to reiterate, do not let your major influence necessarily your fit for this company. So we're seeking out students who have a passion for helping others. We're seeking students who have a desire to build a fulfilling and rewarding career with Fidelity. Those that can communicate effectively, are receptive to feedback, take initiative, and can execute complex work in a fast-paced environment. Can't tell you how many times I hear from our hiring managers that they look at a student's resume and they see that they have all the technical skills, and then you have an interview and it just wasn't the right fit because those soft skills are missing, right? Maybe that ability to communicate effectively or ability to have that confidence and execute, work efficiently. That's the part that's missing. So those are areas if you kind of, feel like you could use some work on. Really, again, you're probably utilizing your career services team. That's a great way to work on some of those skills, but really that's what we see a lot of. We're also looking for students interested in continuously learning and gaining new skills. I can tell you things are always changing at Fidelity. An inclusive environment that embraces diversity and giving back. And then this is a fun term we like to use called stretching themselves, which is being comfortable, being uncomfortable in new opportunities. I know being uncomfortable is scary. We're used to something in our comfort zone, but we really, really do try to encourage you to pursue other opportunities, even once you're within the firm, to help you with that growth and development. And then there's just one more piece that, really want to consider when you're looking at where you want to start your career, and that's the working location. So as you can see, Fidelity has locations across the country with a very wide domestic footprint for both our regional offices and investor centers. Those orange dots on this map are our regional offices. So those are really where we take our interns in, those 1,200 interns. They were across all of the regional centers. The investor centers are more like retail storefronts. You may see them in a variety of shopping centers. Still Fidelity Investments, still doing the same business, but it's just not the same regional office. So they're just more of that retail storefront where clients can go in and do business face to face. Okay, so we know that you ultimately need a career that you can grow and flex with. And while we are known as that financial services firm, as I mentioned, we are much more than that. Here are a variety of the different career areas that you can get involved in that will all provide you with an exciting opportunities and future development opportunities. So of course we do have the finance opportunities, but we also have asset management, personal investing, workplace investing. We even have healthcare opportunities, institutional services. Events and marketing is something that you wouldn't think for Fidelity. We also have a ton of opportunities in technology, and then our customer service and sales as well. And internships is a separate tab there, but just know that we do have internships offered in all of these areas as well. So this is just kind of a wide overview of just some of the main business units that you'll see internship and early career opportunities in with Fidelity. So the next key piece of the puzzle we're going to talk about is culture. That's really important when you're going to look into joining a company. You're going to spend a lot of your time with that company, so you want to be sure that the culture aligns with your own. So it's a huge part in creating an enriching workplace, and Fidelity recognizes that. Can you see yourself working at a company? Do you fit with that company? Do you know what the organization's culture and reputation is? What about what it's like to work there? Answering those questions will make you see if you're a good match. So here are 4 things that define Fidelity's culture. We believe the individual matters, and so we do our best to foster a collaborative culture. So that means we appreciate unique perspectives and experiences and have found that these differences create better discussions and support innovative thinking. I'll never forget my very first day on the job. We had a virtual orientation because I was onboarded during COVID. And one of our senior level leadership, VPs was on the call kind of talking about this aspect of Fidelity. And the one thing that I thought was so interesting is he was, covered in tattoos. He literally had arm sleeves and long hair. And I just thought, he's not what I expected at a financial firm, totally not what you would call the quote unquote stereotypical. And he acknowledged that. And he said that's part of why he loves Fidelity and he'd been with the company for so long is they really do welcome you to be whoever you are, whatever that is. You don't have to fit into a specific mold to fit within the culture of Fidelity. Diversity and inclusion is also extremely important within Fidelity and is reflected in all that we do. We have our employee resource groups that provide connection and collaboration, and I'm going to go into that in a little bit more detail here in a couple of slides. Fidelity is also committed to being a good corporate citizen in all of the communities we work and live in. So a great interactive opportunity. We have a lot of opportunities to serve with our Fidelity Cares. As you can see here, all of these individuals on this slide are wearing those Fidelity Cares t-shirts. We're committed to driving impact in our communities with organizations that address racial equity and social justice. And we provide programs that allow our associates to positively impact our communities and expand the capacity for our community partners. So we drive innovation through volunteerism. We do a lot of community service. We offer a lot of volunteer and community service opportunities on site. So there are some days when I go into the office and they'll have maybe cards set out to send to children at a children's hospital, or there'll be opportunities to create art for maybe an elderly home. And so it's just a lot of cool things that they encourage you to do always. It's not just like a 1 or 2 time a year thing. It's pretty much constant opportunities to give back to the community. Here we have our collaborative culture, diversity and inclusion, corporate citizenship, and then as I touched on, volunteerism and community involvement. Okay, so as I said, the ERGs, one way we help you find your tribes within Fidelity is through our award-winning employee resource groups, or ERGs. These groups are self-organized groups of Fidelity employees who have common interests. So resource groups are open to all employees and have a commitment to foster professional and personal development. We currently have 6 ERGs and 4 special interest groups, or SIGs. There's a lot of acronyms here. We use a lot of acronyms in Fidelity. I'm just going to call out a few of the employee resource groups, really the ones that I'm most involved in. Again, as I said, you don't have to necessarily identify as the ERG, you can be an advocate for any of these. So for instance, I'm very involved in the Aspire group. It's with our Latino and Black employees. Also Fidelity Pride, focused on workplace experiences for the LGBTQ community. Women's Leadership Group is another great one. And then our special interest groups are also really cool. RAISE is a great one. That's for parents and caregivers. It's just kind of a community that you can provide support to each other. And then our Women in Technology, that's the Fidelity WITSIG. It's really cool. They do a ton of things for women in technology. And so just a lot of really great opportunities for you to get involved and network with other associates. We talked a little bit about that mobility, the ability to kind of move around within Fidelity and change roles and get promotions and, try out different business units while you're with us. And a great way to find out about a lot of opportunities is through networking with some of your fellow associates in these groups. I've learned a lot about other roles just by doing that. Okay, so benefits, really important. You really need to evaluate the benefits package and considering if a job is right for you. And so I'm going to talk through some of the more unique benefits about Fidelity. Some companies may offer a selection of benefits that meet your immediate needs, but they don't cater for what you'll need in the long term, or vice versa. Others may have something really robust set up for your future, but they're not willing or not offering what you need now, right? So really the best kind of benefits package meets both where you are now and what you'll need in the future. So I'm going to go through several of these, kind of talk through what Fidelity has to offer, really high level. Can't get into the super minutia of all of these just because it varies for a lot of the, compensation pieces. But we do pride ourselves in meeting the needs of our employees, both now and in the future. So we have a comprehensive benefits program for associates across 4 main areas. So first, I'll start with compensation. First thing, of course, you want to look at is salary, right? What is that salary? Will that meet your needs now and in the future? Can you all still hear me? I'm sorry.
Yes.
We good? Okay, thank you. So we are considered very competitive with our overall pay. In addition to your base pay, there are a number of other ways we compensate you financially. And these will be key tools for helping you to grow savings for now and into the future. So that includes a performance bonus, profit sharing, and a contribution we make to your retirement savings to match whatever you put in your 401k. So it's a 401k match. It all adds up, okay? And really, when you're thinking about the future retirement, it makes a huge difference. Secondly, your health and wellness. So, of course, use your health and wellness insurance. The cool thing about Fidelity, which again, I loved my first day, you automatically are able to enroll in those health and dental benefits from day 1 of employment. So you don't have to go through a 30 or a 60-day kind of introductory probationary period with Fidelity to earn those benefits. From day 1, being an associate, your start date, you can sign up for those. You also eligible for a fitness reimbursement. So let's say you are paying for a gym membership currently, or let's say that you have, you know, maybe an app that you like to work out with. Fidelity will also compensate you, reimburse you, I'm sorry, for some of those fees towards those memberships. We want you to stay healthy. Healthy associates are happy associates. So definitely really invest in your health. And then we do offer a whole host of education and resources. Again, you may not need them right now, but things to look for in the future. Like there's a lot of great benefits if you decide to expand your family. Just thinking about those types of things for your future needs. For work and life, one of our most popular benefits is our pay time off package. So every associate gets a yearly allowance of PTO. So talking to you now as you approach graduation or having just recently graduated, you most likely have tens of thousands of dollars in student debt just waiting to pay off. So we know that this can cause havoc with budgets and setting up a good financial foundation, which is why we provide student loan assistance. So we contribute up to $15,000 over a period of time to pay down your debt. We also know that you may want to continue to upskill and reskill as you get further into your career at Fidelity. So we also have tuition reimbursement programs. We reimburse up to 90% of certain tuition costs associated with courses at an accredited school or university. As long as they're work-related or part of a work-related degree or certification program, Fidelity will help pay those costs. And then lastly, on-site amenities. This does vary by site, but since we are talking to UT Arlington, and I'm assuming most of you will want to work at our Westlake, Texas office, I can say that it's amazing. We have a variety of benefits, anything from a full service gym with full service locker rooms. So I'm talking like you don't have to bring anything from home to get ready if you decide to work out. They have all of the toiletries you need. They have even steamers in the workout facilities. Snacks pretty much everywhere you go, complimentary, so you don't have to worry about packing your snacks for the day. They do a lot of cool events throughout, so lots of cool giveaways that are having constantly there for associates to take advantage of. Beautiful walking trails. We even have cattle on site, which is something that's kind of unique to Fidelity. Another is our healthy dining. We have a full service cafeteria, and we even have a farm, which is part of our sustainability efforts on site. And we have a farmer on staff, and the farmer, so all of the produce that we grow within that farm, we then use in our cafeterias. So for our salad bars, and so employees can again get that literally farm fresh food. And it's also it's a subsidized plan. So the more healthy that your meal is, the cheaper it is. So again, trying to encourage you to eat healthier. And I feel like that's usually the reverse. When I go to the grocery store, I buy produce. That's the most expensive thing. But here, yeah, so here we actually get rewarded for wanting to eat healthy. It's really cheap meals and really good meals. And so that's another great incentive to working at Fidelity. And then lastly, I'm just going to touch on our career center. Very similar to your college career centers. We have career centers on site, and they're places for associates to talk to recruiters, to get resume tips, interview practices, or just overall career advice. And you may be thinking like, that's crazy. Why would I get career advice from my job? But that is part of the Fidelity's commitment to help you with your career mobility. The hope is you stay within Fidelity. And so if you're applying for another role in Fidelity, that you can get guidance on how to prepare for that. But it's not limited to that. It's just another way Fidelity shows how much they believe in their associates and they want to provide the best experiences. So I think that's pretty cool. Never ever a bad thing to go and get a refresher if you're going to interview for a new job. So next steps, maybe you're interested now, you want to learn a little bit more about how you would apply with Fidelity. So before turning it back to Julie, I just want to review our hiring practices. Please visit the student section of fidelitycareers.com to explore the range of roles. You'll be able to create a profile and then apply. This QR code here will take you directly to that site. In some cases, you'll be asked to complete a digital interview so we can learn more about you. And once you pass that initial interview, we'll then get you talking to a university talent recruiter and a hiring manager. And from there, hopefully you're selected for an offer and you'll be presented with that offer and your benefits package. Lastly, you'll just be accepted, and then of course your onboarding process. We include this in the presentation to kind of put anyone at ease about what our interview process is like. I've talked to some students who say they have upwards of 5 interviews before getting accepted into an internship. And we don't feel like that's necessary. We really want to try to make it as easy as possible for you as a student applying. We know you're busy, have a lot of competing priorities, and so try to make it as seamless as possible for you. And then lastly, I will go ahead and share some of our social media QR codes if you want to follow us. We have everything. I actually think we may have just started a TikTok, but I'm not certain about that. So can share that and add that to the slide as well. I didn't talk a whole lot about timelines, and I can go ahead and I'm going to try to get myself off camera and hopefully I don't freeze here. But regarding timelines, our internship and early career roles will be posted sometime mid to late August. If you visit our career site currently, you may find a few early career entry-level roles. So for those individuals that are graduating in the May timeframe, a lot of our customer service, client relations roles are posted on the career site, also some technology roles. But the majority, all of our internships, and then some other early career opportunities will go live in that mid-August, late August timeframe. Don't have an exact date, but that's the best time to look out for them.
Okay, fantastic. You gave such great information. Just a quick question about timelines. For internships, is your program mostly in the summertime or do you have year-round interns?
No, so we do only offer summer internships, and the applications that will go live in August are for summer 2025.
Okay.
It's 10-week internships starting in June, ending in August. We sometimes get asked about the remote working capabilities. What does that look like? What does the schedule look like? Currently, what we are still doing what we call dynamic working. So interns last summer were going into the office basically 1 week every 4 weeks. So it was like a few weeks in the time, because if you're thinking about the 10-week internship. But what we found, their feedback was that they wanted to be on site more. They wanted to be in the office more,
I
which was
don't
really
blame them. It
exciting.
sounds like Disney World.
Yes, right. It's
Yeah,
really
health and
fun.
fitness, some
And
good
so
food.
this summer we are going into an every other week. So we'll be going into the office a lot more. And then next summer, not really sure what it will look like, but potentially could evolve more. But as of now, it's still hybrid work model. So we go in every other week and you get to work from home, work remotely the others.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I
Yeah,
do see that we have a student question, and we have our
awesome.
student assistant, Ishu, who's going to ask the student questions. Hi, Ishu.
Hi.
Hi.
Um, so one of the questions that they had was, hold on, let me go ahead and see it really quick. Um, hold on. So do you still have internships for like those who are graduating on or after May 2025?
So no, if you are graduating in May 2025, you would not be eligible for an internship because our internship would start in June 25. So you will have already graduated, completed your degree. However, we do have early career opportunities. So if you're still interested in looking at working with Fidelity, you're still welcome to check out our career site and apply to any of those early career opportunities with us. Just wouldn't be an internship. But I will also preface it by saying, again, pretty much every job you come into with Fidelity is going to provide a robust training. Never expect, especially an entry level and early career candidate, to come in knowing exactly what to do. All of our roles provide very, very robust training. So I feel like they're all kind of internships in a way, but no, you can definitely apply for full-time roles once you graduate.
I also had one question, is do you guys hire international students on people? Because I know some people are applying for like full-time and some are applying for part-time and some are trying to apply for internships, but they're not quite sure if you hire international students.
So for internships, we do not. We do not take international students for internships. However, for early career opportunities, it just depends on the role. There are some opportunities, oftentimes in our tech area, that we do consider international students, but for internships, we don't at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yes,
I
thank
think that
you.
was all the questions.
Yeah, we might get a few more. So if you want to stay on camera, that would be great. I had a couple questions. So as far as a student, when they apply, you know, you get the resume, they get called for the interview. What are you looking for in a candidate?
From their interview or their resume, or are you talking about just in general?
Like how, you know, what's the best way for them to get noticed?
So great question. I do encounter this a lot with students, especially those who feel that they maybe don't have a lot of experience or who are worried about the experience that they do have doesn't align with the role that they're applying for. And I really want to just encourage you to not let that be a deterrent to applying for a role with Fidelity or with anyone. I think, so number one, I'll always say one of the best resources, because my past life, I worked in career services for so long, is to connect with your career team on campus, connect with an advisor. They are often the first point of contact for recruiters or for employers. And so they'll sometimes have the inside scoop as to what specifically employers are looking for. With resumes, I think we can go into it as first-time job seekers, putting a lot on your resume about what you are seeking. So maybe you'll have an objective, right? That's like, I'm looking for this. I'm looking for a job in this, and these are my qualifications. But the best advice I can give is to research a company and understand what's important to that company and understand how you can articulate your experience that you do have to show the value add that you're going to contribute to that objective. So with Fidelity Investments, for instance, we're very, very big about our culture. We're very big about our sustainability efforts. Our clients are number one. You'll see that everywhere, clients and customers. So if you're someone who's only maybe had retail experience, or maybe you've worked, you know, in food service, you've been waiting tables for the past few years, don't feel like that's not valuable experience. I mean, that aligns right to our customer service values. So, you know, you've been doing customer service for the past 2 years, getting through school and been able to hold down a, you know, full schedule, 15 hours of school, and you're graduating. Like, all of those things are really what's going to help set you apart. If you're not involved in groups or, you know, organizations on campus, or you're not doing any volunteer work at this time, start. It's never too late to start. Get involved. I go to campus a lot around the DFW areas, and I do anything from diversity organizations to financial management groups to, my gosh, I've been all over the place. I was just Texas A&M yesterday passing out energy drinks, and, you know, with the students that stopped by that wanted to know about Fidelity, got to know us, exchange LinkedIn, use your network. And I feel like I'm not really answering your question. So what else can help them stand out?
No, I think you're giving a world of great advice, because those are all things that we tell our students as well.
Yes.
But I really love the part about finding out what is important to the company that you're researching. And in Fidelity's case, you mentioned several things. So make that apparent in your experience. That's great advice. And I was going to touch upon networking too. What is the best way, once they submit their resume, to reach out to you or another recruiter?
I think the best way, so I do always encourage LinkedIn, although I have to admit my LinkedIn gets very bogged down, especially during heavy event season. So in the fall, I'm attending probably 3 or 4 career fairs a week. And that's at major universities where the volume is extremely high. And so I always tell students, I try to say, please connect with me. And if I don't get back to you, I will, I promise. And it does take me a while sometimes. So don't be afraid to reach out again. If you're really interested in engaging with somebody, I would encourage you, of course, to follow them, to follow the company's page. And then also, it's okay to like their stuff, comment on their things. But don't be afraid to send a follow-up message via, you know, an email if the first one maybe wasn't replied to within, a few weeks time. Again, I know how it is with the recruiters, like their inboxes do get extremely bogged down. Another great way is either Handshake or Simplicity. I believe you're a Handshake school, right?
Or a Handshake school, yes.
Yeah, and so Handshake is another great way. We post a lot of events. We have one coming up actually April 24th, which I can post to your Handshake and I can go ahead and send to you, Julie. It's actually an art of interviewing presentation that some of our recruiters in university talent are hosting. It's virtual next week.
Fantastic.
And so if you follow Fidelity both via Handshake and LinkedIn, you'll be able to keep up with those types of opportunities and meet more recruiters and university talent and different associates that you can connect with.
Right, fantastic. And learn the art of interviewing and
Yes.
pick up some of those skills. So
yes, exactly.
all good things. Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about your internship program. I mean, you went into a lot of detail, but what can they expect on day one when they come in person? I know they will receive extensive training. Do you have networking or social events for the interns? What can they expect?
Yeah, the programming for our interns is really awesome. Molly Wasser, who is our intern manager, she's actually up in Boston, but we have leads at every site. So I can just kind of give you an overview of last year. Day one, typically you actually don't come into the office day one. You get all of your laptop and everything sent to your home. And day one is the day for you to just be able to set up your technology and kind of get acclimated with that. When you come into the office, you're kind of met with a party. Everyone's super excited to see the interns. All not just university talent. You have all the hiring managers. Everyone's just very welcoming and eager to get to meet you. The big part of internship is, once you're assigned to your business unit, you do work on a project, and that's typically what takes up the majority of your internship. But the programming aside from that, lots of opportunities to network. So we do have a lot of social events. Last year, we went to a Rangers game. We had an evening at Chicken Pickle, the pickleball place. We also got to, what else did we do? The Texas Rangers, pickleball. There's another one that's escaping my mind at this point. We would do a lot of cool things just to break up the day. Like we would have a field day, basically, with a bunch of like obstacles set up, and we'd go run through that. We have a lot of opportunities to network with other associates. So whether it's through our ERGs, if you're interested in getting involved with one of those groups, or if you're interested in just connecting with some of our leadership, we actually had like a leadership lunch one day where a lot of our senior level leaders just came down and literally sat at the tables with our interns, and interns got to walk around and network,
That's so
get to know
cool.
them. And we also even had a resume review workshop. That was a good one where we again had hiring managers and recruiters kind of just sit in a room, and students could sign up and bring their resumes in to just get some feedback, some constructive feedback on what would help improve their resume. So the programming is really, really cool. We do a good job of including a variety of different opportunities to make it interesting for our interns.
It sounds like such a robust, fantastic program, and getting to work on real world projects.
Yes.
I think is always such a great learning opportunity.
Yes.
For interns that want to stay on after graduation, they do their internship. What advice would you give to them?
I would just advise to really take advantage of your time there. As I said, we really do try to convert all of our interns into full-time opportunities. And so just being sure that you are obviously engaging, asking the right questions, but also taking the time to get to know, as I said, the other opportunities that we have. So we're going to have networking events. We're going to have ways for you to get involved with the ERGs. Those aren't necessarily mandatory events, but just wanting to be there and actually really kind of socializing, making a name for yourself, spending some time. And then it's really the work that you do on your project. I mean, a lot of it involves kind of reaching out to other areas of the business. And so it's going to be up to you to make those connections and to have those meetings. And so kind of up to you, the performance that you do, your professionalism when you're on site. And then just expressing, your interest to really be with Fidelity. All of those things can help play into, whether you stay with us or not.
Fantastic opportunity, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, we talked before we got started, we were talking about internships. I had a couple in undergrad and grad school, and you mentioned that you had one as well. Would you like to share your experience?
Yeah,
And
sure.
how
So we
you
were
got
kind of
to
talking.
Fidelity? Because I think
Right.
you always learn from other people's career paths.
Absolutely. Yeah. Going to school. So I said I was a sociology major, and I did an internship at my university with the women's studies program. So I was kind of like a marketing assistant for them, did all of their promotional materials for their classes, because we had some really interesting classes. At the time, I feel like women's studies was it was a newer area of study for my particular college. And so we had a lot of events to kind of promote that department and the courses that we were offering. So I got to learn a lot about Photoshop and a lot about women's studies, which is really cool. Never thought I would end up in the financial services industry. It just was not on my radar. I am not a numbers person. I always try to avoid taking any math or finance as much as possible. So I really
fall in that category too.
Yeah. I went into academics, and I started out at some smaller schools. I kind of moved all over Texas, but working more on the career services side of the house. Past 12 years, I was working in career services teams, leading a team of career services. And I ended up at Fidelity because it's a lot of networking, a lot of who you know. I had a friend, I met somebody at a networking event that was a recruiter for Fidelity. I expressed interest in wanting to join Fidelity, wasn't really sure where I could get in. I figured recruiting side of the house would be the best fit. And there was a university relationships opportunity that had come available. And so I thought, I don't know if you've heard of imposter syndrome, but I remember thinking like, they're not going to want me because I don't have any finance experience, and I'm not really sure. But I went ahead and I said, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway. I connected with a lot of other recruiters on LinkedIn, sent them emails expressing my interest, sent them my resume. And it was through that outreach that I was able to secure an interview finally with the hiring manager. And I did, and it just ended up being the perfect fit for me. They were looking for someone with the background of the academic experience. I don't have to do anything financially related aside from talk about the roles. I don't have any financial licenses. I don't have to do any of that side. So that wasn't a concern for them. And so now I've been with the firm for close to 3 years. And I love it. I mean, I get to still work with students, which is truly my passion. And it's even cooler, I feel like, a lot of times on this side of the fence, because when I was in the college career services, I would work with them a lot, and then, they'd leave, and sometimes I'd see them again, sometimes I'd hear from them. But when I'm on this side, there'll be times I'm in like the cafeteria and a student will come up to me like, Valerie, I'm here now. Like, I met you at this career fair, and it's so incredible. And then they'll reach out, I see you're going to my university, for this event. Can I go with you? So it's super cool.
That's really neat.
And I think that part of what Julie and what we were talking about is, as students, I know it can be scary, daunting, like you're not sure what you want to do when you quote unquote grow up. It's never too late to switch careers. Don't ever sell yourself short. And 100% don't ever think that you're not qualified for a role just maybe because of your experience going in as new students. A lot of you don't have experience in what you're applying to, right? That's part of why you're going to school, is to learn that and to be able to get into, the industry. But don't ever sell yourself short. Just have the confidence that you'll be able to, find the role that you're seeking for. Just be your authentic self. Those are the best that's the best guidance I can give you, is being someone who's been through it on my own. Just do all the things that you need to do. If you networking with the company, not being afraid to reach out, not being afraid to, have the confidence to put yourself out there. Those are really the key, I think, attributes that can set you apart from someone who maybe has the best resume, but they're really just leaving it there. They're not doing and putting in the extra work.
Really, really great advice. And I'll look forward to getting more information about your upcoming webinar. That sounds like something that our students could really benefit from.
Right.
It's been so great talking to you today. I thank you for attending today's spotlight. and for being a Mavs Edge partner. You've been partners with us for a few years, and it's just a really great partnership, and we appreciate you. Before I wrap up our time together, is there anything else you want to mention or promote? Or I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have covered a lot of ground today. Aside from that resume workshop, no, as I said, just keep a lookout for our internships. They'll open around mid-August to late August for summer 2025. I always encourage you to apply sooner than later. As soon as you can apply, be sure do the work now, right before August hits, to get your resume ready. And maybe don't even just have one resume prepared. If you're going to apply to a variety of opportunities, make several versions. It's always great to do that. We'll for sure be at your upcoming career fairs in the fall. We look forward
Wonderful.
to your fall career fairs. We're usually at the engineering fair and at the general, the other career
Already
fair.
marked the date for September 18th for the all
Okay.
major.
Perfect.
So,
All majors.
yeah.
There you go. And so, yeah, just be sure that, and networking is so huge. Be sure you're keeping up with your school's calendar to make sure that you're attending events.
Absolutely. And students, there's also Valerie's information is in the chat, as well as the website for Fidelity. We have also information about services at the Career Development Center, so stop by and see us. And all that information is in our chat. And this recording will be posted to our Student Teams channel and on our LinkedIn page and YouTube channel as well. So you can go back and see that information and watch again. Thank you again, Valerie, for being with us today. And students who are tuning in, I wish you the best of luck with your final exams and the rest of your spring semester. And I just want to make sure that we don't have any other student questions. I think we are good. So everyone have a great afternoon, and thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.